Alright, still in May 1940. In fact, it's like the last battle. This is also taking place on 23 May 1940. Outskirts of Calais, Germans are making their advance towards the Channel ports, of which Calais is one. So British forces in Calais are in a difficult situation. From their patrols and frantic French reports, they know a large German mechanized column is approaching the city from the southeast. You are Lieutenant Colonel Keller, commanding the 3rd Royal Tank Regiment. Although unsure of the exact location of the German forces, you must reach a decision to support the last orders you receive, but which are very much against your better judgment. You are directed to get through to St. Omer and then onto Hazebrouck with all your available tanks. You have received 3 contradicting orders within the last 12 hours, but have decided to obey the last, which means you will leave Calais and move towards St. Omer and British Army HQ. You must move quickly if you are to have any chance to pass in front of the steadily advancing German force and escape being trapped in Calais. Okay. Really sizable map. Responding to the code word Gelb issued midday on the 9th of May, German forces began their advance across the frontiers, the Netherlands border, and Belgium towards the French border. Plan Gelb was aided by poor Allied leadership. Yeah, okay. Okay. Historical. The scenario is best played against another human in IP or play by email. Pretty much only playing against AI here. It is recommended for play with you as the British and the AI as the German, with a plus 25% to the computer's handicap. You could also play the AI as the British, with you as the Germans, but recommend to add 50% to the computer's points and plus 1 to experience, and play everything as is. No handicap or addition to experience. Experience play. Okay. But yeah, sounds like there's an AI plan for both sides, and recommending one side of the other based on balance, but I don't care about balance. Note on map orientation. The map has been rotated 45 degrees to the east. In other words, north on the map is pointing to the northeast. Okay. Sources, and there's spoilers on what actually happened in the battle. But yeah, I think I am maining the Axis up until I get to 1943, at which point I will switch to maining the Allies for combat mission scenarios. Okay, so I am the commander of the Flank Guard for 1st Panzer Division, Major Cougar. Am I pronouncing that right? It is, May 23rd, 1940. You have orders to continue the advance to the AA Canal and Dunkirk. Pursuant to these orders, you are to pass to the east of the Allied garrison at Calais. Secure the roads to ensure the division units can move onwards to Dunkirk. There are 7 small and 3 large victory flags. Securing these will mean the main road and flanks are clear, and your mission is a success. Intelligence. The British and French forces in Calais are unknown. Great. The intelligence officer at division has let you know that there have been reports of enemy tank patrols to the north of your position near Guines. Forces on map and hastening to the area. You are leading a flanking camp group consisting of elements from the Schützen Battalion, 1st Schützen Regiment, 1st Panzer Abteilung to Panzer Regiment 1 and Aufklärungsabteilung 4. Okay, so Battalion HQ, Panzer Platoon, no mention of what kind of tanks. Motorcycle Platoon, 180 Tank Section, 4 target reference points. Okay. Due to rain, there is no Luftwaffe support. Reserves. 1 Panzer Battalion, again, no mention of what kind of panzers, minus, so down a company, badly mixed up due to mechanical breakdowns, battle losses, and officers who cannot read a map. Okay, so around 25 tanks. That's a lot of tanks. 1 anti-aircraft platoon, minus, so down a vehicle. 1 infantry company, minus. 150mm FO, 105mm FO, Pioneer platoon minus, Recce company minus. Okay, so everything is down 1 subunit, it looks like. Note on arrival of German reinforcements. Combat Mission doesn't have a way to show how the roads actually looked during this engagement. The French road network was covered with French civilians and commercial vehicles. To portray this, I have the rest of the Germans arrive as reinforcements instead of being nicely lined up at the start of the scenario. This simulates, to a certain degree, the chaos on the roads during the engagement and slows down the German ability to move forward quickly. Recommendation: the German player on the first turn should limit his movement speed to move or hunt and not fast to recreate the situation on the ground on May 23rd, 1940. Okay, so for the sake of good roleplay, I shall follow this recommendation, even if it isn't necessarily the tactically smartest thing. After the firing began, the French civilians melted away. Okay. Scenario notes. You have mainly Panzer 1s and 2s. Let's see. There are no Panzer 1s in Combat Mission Afrika Korps, so is the scenario designer simulating them as Panzer 2s with no main gun ammo again? 9 Panzer 3s and 2 4s are still moving. The unit's 37mm anti-tank guns and infantry guns are moving in the front of the column to ensure rapid deployment. Your infantry is armed with additional captured Polish anti-tank rifles, all shown as German PZB-39s. MG-armed Panzer 1s are shown as Panzer 2C, but lack main gun ammo. Panzer 2Fs are... Again, Panzer 2F, that's anachronistic for the invasion of France. They first started showing up in 1941, I thought. And it does make a difference whether it's a Panzer 2C or a Panzer 2F, because I believe the Panzer 2F has heavier armor. But, okay, I won't fuss about that too much. Motorcycles are shown as Kugelwagens. Radio message just received. French tanks at grid, yada yada yada, vicinity of Route Emden. Route Emden was the code word for the road past Calais. To bypass Calais, the road network makes you head directly for the city, or you can turn towards the north within 7 kilometers of the city itself. This grid location is 500 meters west of yourself, and you are located near Grand Saint Blaise. On turn 2, more of your forces will appear near you. Okay. And... Alright, let's get this started. That must be my Italian HQ. First target reference point. Probably not much good having target reference point there. I have some tanks on map to start with, don't I? So it looks like Guinness is on my end of the map. As those 2 flags, I should already... Yeah, they're inside my deployment zone, so it's pretty easy to find them. I thought... Ah, here we go. There's some of my forces here. Okay, this is a pretty big map. Okay. Can't quite zoom out to see the far enough to see the whole thing at once. Well, yeah, just about. Okay, so I have three deployment zones to start with. That one, the big one here, and then this yellow one off to the right. Looks like I have a tank there. Oh, there's a few tanks there. And a few vehicles there. There's a armored car. A Panzer 2C without main gun ammo standing in for a Panzer 1. I want to place these target reference points. I mean, obviously no point having the target reference points inside my deployment zone, because my deployment zone is the one area that I know there aren't any French or British forces. What am I facing here? French or British? Or is it both? It's a mixed, cobbled together unit. Okay, so there's... Alright, anti-tank rifles there. Tune HQ. The main objective is securing the length this road here. Yeah. That is my main priority. Anything anywhere else on the map, the focus of any forces anywhere else on the map is to get to and secure some part of this road. And that's... I thought it said there would be 3 large flags. Oh yeah, got the middle one. And then 2 large objective flags on either side, and 2 small objective flags in between. So... the main objective area here is this stretch of road. Branches off here and there, branches and converges here and there, but the important feature is, well, there's thin tree lines popping up here and there along the whole road, trees lining the whole road. Towns on both ends, and forest in the middle. Is forests on all sides, and the middle portion of the road would make a great ambush area, so definitely want control of that. An intersection there. Probably why there are objective flags there. Doesn't look like there's much special along most of the stretch of the road. I have forces that are starting in different areas of the map, not on the road, the main road that needs to be secured. And their first priority is going to be getting to the road somewhere so they can start clearing and occupying some portion of the length of the road. suppose any spot with a few buildings or anything that is fairly defensible is going to be valuable ground to capture along the route. Yep. This branch here that matters, not this branch. So I don't have to secure all of these woods, just this wood here. In fact, I don't even have to secure this whole wood here, just the part that is kind of along the road. Securing this cluster of buildings would be nice. In fact, yeah, most of those have line of fire on some portion of that road, so I do want to secure those buildings. Intersections and crossroads are just inherently valuable. And of course I'm going to want to secure both ends of this street here, this whole block here. Do not need to secure the entire town. I can ignore most of that. These forces, starting at St. Blaise, I want to have moving towards the road here. So, raining, there's lots of soft ground. I think my vehicles are going to be pretty restricted to roads for this mission, unless I want to lose a lot of them just from them bogging down and getting stuck. That is simulated in combat mission, and I have confirmed that it is simulated in Gen 1 combat mission, classic combat mission, so a concern I need to keep in mind, is I don't want to lose vehicles just from them bogging down in the mud. So we're going to be pretty restricted to roads. Unfortunately, there's not a road directly connecting the main objective road from this road here that these forces are popping up on. There are objective flags on this road, though, so maybe we'll just leave these guys over here. I think they're going to be pretty incapable of joining the fighting over here. Vehicles being limited to the roads is, of course, going to limit their actions, their flexibility quite considerably. And is definitely going to increase the importance of infantry in providing some flank protection. Oh yeah, that could slow the advance down quite a bit. Probably going to want to keep things in a march column, just heading straight down the road until resistance is met, and then deploy into a combat formation each time resistance is met, and then back into a march column. But I'm going to be really hoping I can defeat most resistance I encounter on the march without having to deploy too much, because that'll slow me down quite a bit. I do have nearly an hour to accomplish this, which, I mean, that is a reasonable amount of time for most scenarios from a combat mission perspective, from a wargaming perspective. From a real-life perspective, securing this much ground in 1 hour is a big ask. But wargamers are obsessed with time limits, and not realistic, but whatever. That's the bounds we're working within here. Okay, but where are most of my reinforcements going to be showing up? I assume somewhere on this end of this road here. I want to keep that center area secured to start with. I might decide to move these guys around a little bit. Target reference points I'm probably going to want to move. But I have 4 of them, right? And we see 2 target reference points at the moment. Where are the other 2? Somewhere around here, presumably. These forces here, there is a road directly connecting them with the main objective road, or getting them most of the way there. So yeah, those are all vehicles. Gonna want to rush them down that road and onto the main objective road. Let's see if I can remember the... have I hit all of the important elements of the terrain analysis? There's... oh, dang, I'm forgetting the acronym again. Obviously, I'm not going to get enough forces to line every inch of the road, so I want to secure some key spots. That crossroads here can probably be secured by occupying the barracks buildings and these few buildings around the crossroads. Could get some troops in each of the houses that show up along the way. Occupying the school would be nice, but can I afford to loot my troops that much for an objective that's that far away from the road? It does have decent visibility over a fairly significant stretch of the map. So, does it have visibility over much of the important objective areas of the map? It's got some visibility over a bit of a stretch of the road. I should say I'm going to be getting... here we go, here's the forces. Okay, less than a full infantry company. So the infantry company that I'm going to be wanting to use to occupy the ground that I take. Ideally, at least. I'm gonna have to spread them pretty thin. A lot of ground for an entire for a single company to occupy. And then, of course, I want to clear out these buildings at the end. What if this area is heavily occupied? I'm going to want most of my the infantry company ready to clear this part of town here. Like most of the ground that isn't directly on the road is soft ground. This is going to be very tricky, very limiting. Like I'm getting an enormous amount of armored power here, but the rain and soft ground is going to limit it to the roads. So I'm not going to be able to deploy it to its full extent. Okay, that's all 4 TRPs identified. Probably... do I want to move them around? I think we'll put TRPs. For sure, there should be a TRP at the big objectives. So I am going to place that one over here. Yeah, that dense area there is definitely an area where I'll have difficulty getting a forward observer to bring in rounds. We're going to place that right underneath the objective flag. Yeah, we'll leave those TRPs where they are. Yes, we already control that ground, but I don't know, is just in case a good enough reason to use up a whole target reference point, then I might be able to put it somewhere else. I mean, there isn't anywhere that I know for sure I'll want to bombard. Yeah, I'll leave that where it is. Okay, I think just figure out what I'm going to do with the forces I already have on map. That'll simplify up the planning a little bit. So these guys currently occupying the school, I think there are more valuable things I could do with them. Get them over here occupying, yeah, that spot. This is still the deployment phase, so yeah, there we go. Put them right there to start with. Okay, I want you in the top floor. And this squad to split up with the machine gun team in the back building, looking more or less straight down the road, and the other team a little bit more forward. There we go. So that flag should soon show is occupied by us. Maybe I should have put them back here, ensuring that I have that big objective secured. I think what I want to do for that is be moving these guys down the side road over to yeah. They're gonna follow this side road down to the crossroads there. And that objective is inside my deployment zone, so I'm reasonably confident there shouldn't be any Allied troops there. Oh, could there be Allied troops kind of in the way as I'm moving that way? You know? Possibly. I do like the spacing here. That's good distances between vehicles. Oh, and I guess I'm not gonna get much in the way of movement orders right now. But, yeah, when I get to the first turn, I'll give these guys movement orders down along that road towards the crossroads. Get that machine gunner. Ooh, into that top floor there. Maybe one of the bottom floors. Bottom floor of that building there. But we can't give him that order just yet. That's outside of the sped up area. But okay. And so I kind of want that. Well, okay. Panzer 1 will stay there while the recon car pushes down along this road towards that objective flag down there. I believe that is all the forces I have on map at the moment. Possible to expect to see them maybe. Okay, no. Not as far as I know. There may be a button for just cycling through all on-map forces, just to make sure that I haven't missed any. Because I would not be surprised if I did miss some forces somewhere. Someone somewhere that I haven't seen yet. But the basic plan is, assuming my reinforcements show up on this road somewhere, back in this area, that's where I'm expecting them, then they are going to push along this road in a march column. Don't know that there's anything fancy I can do as far as security, except, I guess, make sure we're watching our spacings and have guns pointing alternately in all directions. And then, whenever resistance is countered, infantry will dismount and form a line of battle. Vehicles will just have to shoot the best they can from on the roads. With all this rain, the ground is much too wet for me to trust that moving off-road won't immediately result in the vehicle getting bogged down. So vehicles I'm going to keep very strictly confined to the roads, or I will lose massive amounts of vehicles without a shot being fired at them, just from getting bogged down in the mud. Yeah, okay, so that's the tentative plan. One more look at the briefing. Does it tell me where my reinforcements are going to be showing up? Okay, they're going to be showing up on the road, presumably, somewhere. There were more forces up over here. Can I make any decisions with them at the moment? Yeah, but just that one truck? That one truck and the battalion HQ, I think. I'm going to set him up in the top floor here. Yeah, and I think there's probably not much else to do right now other than, well, let's go ahead and I kind of want to put the truck back here where I presume it'll probably be safer. But that does mean having it, you know, like what if I want to move it later and it ends up getting stuck in the mud. As long as I move it slow, the odds of it getting stuck should be minimal. It doesn't have much distance to travel to the road. And that is probably a safer spot from enemy fire. Well, I have no idea where the enemy is going to be. Presumably, they aren't inside this little area here, so I'll keep that on the road for the time being. Okay, and I don't think there's much else to do at the moment. And then press go. And lost credit for that objective. They don't have troops close enough to it, I guess. Now, I need to issue my movement orders for this lot here. I'm recording, right? I haven't just been talking to myself all this time. Yes, okay, OBS shows as recording. Okay, there we go. And I guess for the first turn, we're sticking to a move order. I'll have them move down fairly slowly. Start, and then next turn, I'll give them a series of after move orders. Get the rest of the way down the road. Because I am not worried about them bogging on the road itself. Now, with all this soft ground here, and this heavy amount of rain, I don't like that I'm trying to occupy terrain with tanks. I mean, they can kind of do it, you can kind of get away with that, but they're really not as good at it as infantry. Okay. Moving. You're not moving yet. Okay, you're moving. And he's moving very slowly. Which, yeah. Intentional. It's by design that they are currently moving very slowly this first turn. Reinforcements. Excellent. They've mostly popped up over here. that one. We're past the intersection a bit. Okay, now I need to repeat that set of orders 2 more times. Recon car. The Kubelwagens are, of course, standing in for motorcycles, so said the briefing. Which is why each of them has a single machine gunner. Car is going to move up that position there. I do hope resistance is light. The terrain and the weather are going to make things complicated enough. Okay, and there. Oh, I don't have anyone holding this small objective. It is a small objective, so I'm not going to sweat over it too much. So, forces that have just arrived on map. Oof, they are not oriented, nor in the march order I would prefer. I don't think I want trucks, particularly ones towing anti-tank guns, leading the advance. I want tanks up front, tanks in the middle, and tanks in the rear. And the orientation is not quite what I'd like. Oh, is there going to be a good way of changing the march order without moving anyone off-road? Maybe I can afford to go a little bit off-road. I definitely want to open up the spacing a bit. We're going to be confined to the roads here for all vehicle movement, so there's not much I can do to ensure good security other than making sure that we're paying proper attention to proper spacing. What march order do I want? I think... Ooh, got a couple Panzer IIIs. I think, yeah, okay. So this Panzer II up front, this Panzer II in the rear, and we'll leave these 3 tanks in the middle. The way we will achieve that march order, I'm going to have this tank move very slowly across this off the road just for a little bit, just for a short stretch, and then back onto the road. Get it up to maybe here or so, and give it a whole turn to move by itself without moving anything else, just to make sure it gets ahead of these 2 trucks. I'm gonna move it, yeah, maybe up to about there or so. Then the next turn, we'll start moving everything else, managing pause orders to make sure I get the intervals I want. I believe German doctrine, at least at this time, is 25-meter intervals on the march. American doctrine, mid to late war, I believe, has much wider intervals, but I haven't actually read that yet, so I don't actually know for sure. Intervals, but yeah, intervals of at least 25 meters, probably a bit more. If we encounter resistance, I guess I'll make a judgment call at that point whether to attempt to blow through or whether to stop and fight it out. If I stop and fight it out, what I'll want is, well, immediately dismount the infantry, get them into a sort of line, and the tanks will, all vehicles will stop and the tanks will shoot from wherever they happen to be. Maybe I want a Panzer III out front as well, maybe just behind the Panzer II. And then there'll be a 1 and a 3 in the middle. Getting a Panzer III at the front of the column is going to be a little bit more complicated. It's going to take more than 1 turn to achieve that. In any case, I am going to want to get them rotating that way. The slowest order I can give, I think, is actually a move order. And get them facing that way. Okay, so this Panzer II I'll move out to the front of the column in this first turn. Then I will move the column forward a bit, then get this Panzer III out to be a front column combat element. Okay, I'm going to do there. I definitely don't want to move that tank through. I don't think I can move the tank through that ground there. Yeah, that's impassable to vehicles. Alright. Give them a turn now. This could be a particularly tough fight, just by mere virtue of the fact that I'm going to be restricted to roads for the vehicle movement. I want to go ahead and dismount some infantry to move along the flanks of the roads. That is going to slow down my movement, but I have 1 hour to travel 1,500 meters or so. I'd hate to lose an entire squad of infantry with one of my trucks getting hit. Hopefully they'll hit my tanks first. Oh, they fire on my column. What am I going to do about capturing this flag here? Maybe I'll move the recon car out and forward over here. Yeah, it should do. Okay. On to the next turn. Oh, okay, they're rotating faster than I expected them to. And that one's not moving. Oh, there's probably a bit of a delay. Oh, very slowly and cautiously over this muddy ground here. I do not want to lose any precious tanks to getting bogged down. And I assume my forces anywhere else on the map have encountered any resistance yet. I haven't made as much progress as I would have expected. Oh, there's more vehicles over here. Huh, okay. And I didn't give them any orders. What a pity. They could have been moving forward this turn. Little machine gun team. It's not a lot of infantry support for that tank to be making use of, but I guess I could get them moving towards the end of the road. But you know, that'll have to be next turn. You guys, I'm quite sure I gave orders to move this turn. Oh, you know, I think the orders delay, the number of orders given does affect the orders delay. There isn't an orders delay in the more modern combat mission games. So I'm not used to accounting for that. Okay, well, next turn we'll see just how long of an order's delay is there until they actually start moving. Is it minutes from now, in which case I'm going to redo those orders. Okay. Okay, more reinforcements. Want to make sure. Give them another turn to move. Move forward a little bit. And I guess you're gonna let the other trucks move around you till you're at the back of the column. Because I want something at the back of the column. Right, okay, so let's get back over here. How much is left on your orders delay? You. 2 more minutes before they start moving. You know what? I'm just gonna let that count down rather than issuing the orders. Okay. You to be fairly careful as you push forward. As I kind of am expecting there to be some kind of resistance along here. Let's push forward regardless, because we don't want to miss an opportunity to punish the enemy for not putting any defenses along that route. And where else? So reinforcements have arrived. Doesn't look like there's anyone else along the main route. Where did the reinforcements pop in? Gotta be honest, I'm not seeing them. Map over there. Oh, right, and I don't want to fuss over your position. That position's probably fine. Yeah, I'll just leave you where you are. You know, it's probably not showing up in the recording because of the settings, the resolution settings I have in OBS for the recording, but the aspect ratio of the game is different from the aspect ratio of my monitor, so as I rotate this around, things are being squeezed and interesting. Oh, there's something new. Panzer 3 there. Current facing is a little problematic. Due to rotate that way. And can I give you orders after the rotate? No. Okay, no. Rotate and then we'll give you fresh orders next turn. So is it just that one tank that showed up this turn? Oh, we got a couple more tanks over here. So I'll get them to the crossroads. let's give you one more pause order just to make sure the spacing ends up being about right. Okay, is there anyone else? Oh! Oh, okay, yeah. So, passenger doesn't have any move orders, that's fine. No new troops along this area here. Everyone here is... Folks have already fought and moved them. Oh! There's a 50mm AT gun over here. Yeah, they've already developed the 50mm anti-tank gun by this point. They just haven't managed to fit it into a Panzer III just yet at this point. Right? Okay, it's a good spot, and doesn't have enough mobility for me to readily move it anyway. Oh yeah, that's defending a valuable spot. Kinda wish I had some more infantry to guard it. It'll be very deadly to any enemy tanks that show up at this crossroads, but any infantry to either flank through this woods here, something, or even go at it directly, there's not much it can do to protect itself. I guess I'm satisfied I've identified all of the new troops that have showed up, that have shown up recently. Am I actually satisfied of that? I think so. Anyone over here? Yeah, okay. Okay. These two tanks are going to continue moving this turn. And then the next turn, they'll be in position over here. And I'll begin moving this column forward. They're moving. That one's moving. Yeah, maybe the basin is a bit too wide there. Maybe I'll give I'll give that tank a brief pause order next turn to close up the interval there. They do need to be close enough to each other to support each other. Okay, more reinforcements this turn. Where are they, I wonder? New over there. Oh, someone new over here. And okay, another turn before they get moving. But yeah, okay. Oh, it looks like more forces over here. I got forces showing up on roads all over the place. I've not encountered the enemy yet, which actually is not surprising since I haven't started heavy movement towards the enemy yet. Right, so we have anti-aircraft guns in case any enemy aircraft show up. Definitely not expecting any enemy aircraft to show up though. Right, let's begin moving out. By doctrine, about 25 meters, maybe closer to 30, 35 meters between vehicles. That's about what 25 meters looks like. And a little bit more than that at the end of these orders. So, right there. Pause order there. And at the end of this one's order to end up around there. Then we'll go for forward. This pause is going to be about the same as the tank. That should be about right. Give you one more pause order. You move out there. Give you a pause order. You move out there-ish. With all the other trucks to move around this Panzer II, so it ends up in the back. Okay, ready. Ready, fine. Okay, that should get us about the right march order. And when we have that, we'll just push on down the road till we hit our main objective, stopping to deal with resistance whenever we encounter it. Or potentially blow past resistance if we can. We do want to clear out any resistance we encounter. Oh, right, and I was going to give you a pause order to store up the interval here. Are there any other orders I need to give? This is a little different from what I've done in previous missions, which is good. And I'll get right in there. Still moving towards that objective. Yeah, this is more of a march than a deliberate attack. A march during which resistance is expected at some point, but there's no way of knowing where on the road to expect resistance. Alright, another turn or two until that lot starts moving, because I'm too lazy to adjust their orders to get rid of that order delay. Oh, right, I do want to... Now that you have started your movement, tack on additional orders. And push you lot. I might actually try to push these guys forward enough to join the forward column. In which case, it makes sense to have them moving a little faster than the rest of the column. But for now, I'm just gonna push them forward towards that flag. Okay. Is there any other... Okay, yeah, the forces that arrived this turn, I think, were these two AA guns here. The SPA guns. And on this road... One over here, yeah, there's some new ones that showed up over there, but have starting to manage them. I'm going to try to get a similar march order over here as I've got over here, with some armored combat vehicles up front and in the rear, with softer vehicles having armored combat vehicles both in front of and behind them. This tank will move up front, we'll move that truck forward there. Then this Kugelwagen and this truck behind them. And then these two armored cars bringing up the rear. Actually, it would make sense to have the armored cars up front, but that would require shuffling. Since they've arrived late, that would require shuffling the whole column around. So I'll just have them bring up the rear. The main area I'm expecting to encounter resistance is with this main column moving down the main road. Didn't get those shown up? Got credit for that objective now. This one down here. Ooh, what have I got you doing? Or maybe have made sure that there's not going to be any conflict there. Why have you stopped? Okay. I have a theory as to what just happened there. More reinforcements, excellent. Let's get over here. Okay, yeah, as I thought. My little deleting orders. Use that. No, I have to delete all of them and issue them fresh. That's okay, that's inconvenient. It is inconvenient. Don't want to give too many orders along the road at the same time. Yet it would be nice to get most of them out of the way. Quickly. Should I have the recon, the armored cars in the middle, maybe? It would break up the occurrence of soft vehicles a little bit more. See, in the more modern combat mission games, having more move orders is better to help handle the pathfinding, but with the increase in orders delay for each additional order here is an issue. Another turn to finish out these move orders. Then we'll issue a fresh set of move orders for the middle column. I think I'll keep this main column moving relatively slowly to allow these other combat vehicles that have shown up to catch up. Or maybe I should have the column moving fairly quickly, and if they have to stop for combat, that'll allow the vehicles that have been showing up in later turns to catch up. And that might actually be the most efficient use of my time. I still do have the better part of an hour. I'll have them move relatively quickly. Okay. Okay. 14 seconds, which pause for 24 seconds, giving this truck ample time to get ahead. Okay, and we're going. Why have you stopped? Okay, the Panzer III is moving faster than the Panzer II. Didn't account for that. Oh, we've got resistance somewhere. Oh, okay, yeah, definitely want to stop. Oh, bugger. That's not an ideal position to be in. Oh, anything occurring elsewhere that I need to exactly. Not over there so far. And not over there so far. More reinforcements. Oh, okay, they're over there. Not that there's much I can do with reinforcements over here. Heavy rains and soft ground mean that I can't really move vehicles from this road over to this road. So they're stuck pretty much just securing these three objectives. But could use some men to secure those objectives. I guess that's there's what, a platoon of infantry here? Yeah. Get one squad down to the end of this road here, have them split teams, and have a team on either end of the road, probably in the trees. Another squad defending a couple of these buildings. Maybe even have the anti-tank rifle around there somewhere. No, except the anti-tank rifle is in the forwardmost vehicle. Means it'll be most convenient to have it at the far end. And keep a squad back here. Yeah, this squad will stay back here. Get you out of the way. These vehicles here so they can move. Okay, that's the HQ. I do want the HQ to move forward a bit, maybe into, no, central position there. The squad, however, will... Right, yeah. There we go. They will dismount and take up positions in these two buildings. Is it correct to assume that if any resistance shows up, they'll Get the crossroads coming from this way. No, possibly not. Maybe these two buildings, since I already have machine gun in that building. I should make sure there are defenses on all ends of that crossroads. We'll dismount over here, and next turn I will... Oh no, that's an anti-tank rifle. Okay, so there we go. Squad. We'll dismount there. Is there an AT rifle with every squad? No. And you, meanwhile, head down this road. It'll keep the tank in the middle. And it's already a pause of 30 seconds with that many orders. Anyway, I bet I'll go ahead and keep it that way. Make sure you start moving after that vehicle. And I guess that one will just stay put. That one there. That should be fine. That one will move up there. And a truck with an AT gun. And a squad of infantry. Now, squad of infantry to clear this objective here. Dismount over there. The AT rifle, or the AT gun, move about there. In HQ. You will also run that there. This is all very complicated. Oh, and another AT gun over here. Eh. Okay, this will be a perfectly adequate march order for these forces over here. We also have them on hunt orders. No, move to contact orders. To keep them moving forward. Okay. So we have stumbled headlong into enemy tanks. This one currently has flank shot opportunities on this Panzer II, which I don't want, so I want you to reverse. Otherwise, Panzer III is where I pretty much want it, doing pretty much what I want it to do. However, okay, it's actually, that's fine. Launching here. Mark 6B. I think I'm familiar with that tank. Oh. Yeah, that there looks like a machine gun. Is that the sight? Maybe that's the main gun? Or that might be a little big for a machine gun. Can't actually tell very easily with this generation of graphics. Okay, that does appear to be... Does look like they just have a machine gun each. Okay. More or less satisfied with what I'm doing with everyone at the moment. Do have a bit of action shaping up here. A couple of what appear to be unsupported enemy tanks here. See if any enemy anti-tank guns or infantry show up at some point. Oh, commander should definitely button up. Okay. Did I hit anything? Okay, no, all misses. Not surprising since he was shooting while moving. Got a couple penetrations. Okay, managed to penetrate there. And Panzer II's not having any trouble penetrating. Of course, it is an anachronistic Panzer IIF, so maybe the shells are more powerful than they should be. That is a concern. Okay, that thing's knocked out. Anything? Any action occurring elsewhere? Not so far. Movement taking place more or less as expected. Level there is fine. Reinforcements. Good. No fallen tanks, so actually take that objective. Right. This one to do is try to reach the main column. Looks like we've managed to secure this objective. So actually, has the AT gun already started moving? Okay, I'm moving. Need to. Oh, how do I haven't yet been able to figure out how to load up unit that I have dismounted from trucks and APCs. Okay, there's an embark order. then continue those orders without interruption. Move forward and occupy that flag. Oh, okay, there's more Panzer IIs back here. Okay, and you are in position. Okay, you there. You there. HQ. Actually, let's move the HQ over here. Top floor. Get good visibility. The T-gun is in the process of moving. That's going to take a while, of course. I guess we'll get these tanks running down this road. Don't necessarily need them moving terribly quickly just yet. And troops over here I don't want to forget about. Get that squad down to the end of that road. And that's about where I want them to end up. And let's put that AT rifle in that building there. Put that squad up with the machine gun. Well, we already have a machine gun on the left side of the road, so we'll put them on the right. And you by this building. Maybe and then back into this building. Make sure I have some infantry there. Ooh. HQ, I want Getting in a central position for your platoon. Flying that building there. I suppose we should resume the advance in the center. Oh, except instead of having this AT gun mount up again, like I was about to order it to do, to have it continue moving more or less to the same position that I had ordered it to. Into the woods there. And it'll help secure this stretch of road, keep that stretch of road secured. All these tanks move to contact. Get that truck off the road so the AT gun can still limber back up again if it has to. Oh, there's, yeah, mortar there. I want to keep a truck with the AT gun in case I want it to limber back up again, but is this really the best spot to keep the mortar? Probably not. It'll be fine though, I'm sure. It would probably be best to dismount a squad, keep the AT gun company. I'll dismount one of the rear squads. The bulk of the force will continue moving, well, initially towards this crossroads, and then we'll, around here, dismount the infantry and have them push forward into these buildings and secure this last objective. And these forces here will continue pushing down this road. Heading towards this last objective here. Now this complicated mission, not so much because of enemy resistance, which has been light so far, though I expect to encounter heavier resistance eventually. But just because of the nature of the map and the objectives and the weather and where my forces are showing up on map. It's not a traditional attack defense, but this is a road march on which thus far light resistance has been encountered. Which is also, you know, a kind of mission that one in real life would need to be prepared to be able to handle, but also one which you do not normally encounter in this sort of war game. Alright, we'll go ahead and get going for the next turn. There is still one tank that I know I've hit a few times, but do not have confirmed destroyed. There it is. Come on, spot it. It's throwing up smoke. Someone else must see it. stop. Panzer II gonna be able to knock it out? Ooh! Nice work. Alright. Okay, I'm guessing most of my troops have arrived on the field. At this point. Wondering maybe I should stop there for now. I mean, it hasn't been the most exciting of battles up to this point. Definitely a good scenario if you want to test your organizational and management skills. If you're looking for fast-paced excitement, well, maybe something like that will show up later. Maybe we'll stop here and pick this up later on. Oh, it is starting to get a little late on my end. And what the heck, I never finish these in one go anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna stop here, pick up in a little bit, just to how widely spread out my forces are, and the levels of micromanagement that are needed for this mission. Fairly tedious and exhausting, but I'll get back to it. Committed to finishing every mission I start, but I'll stop here for now and pick up maybe tomorrow.